What's going on, moviegoers? If you're new to the channel, my name is Christian. Welcome to C-Roll Productions. Boy, do we have some interesting reports and rumors evolving around Avengers, Secret Wars, Mutants and the X-Men, and much more topics, you guys. I cannot wait to dive deep into some of these topics. I'm excited. It's Christmas week. I hope you guys are spending time with your family, eating all the bad food you can before you start the new year right, and going on with a fantastic 2024, you guys. Push your comments down below. What is your all-time favorite Christmas movie? I am going to be playing A Christmas Story on repeat starting Saturday going into Monday. I cannot wait, you guys. A Christmas Story is my all-time favorite Christmas movie. Push your comments down below. Let me know what you guys' favorite Christmas movie is. But starting off with the banger topic, we got to talk about Jeff Snyder's recent reports evolving around Avengers Secret Wars. This one is a good one. So, apparently Avengers Secret Wars is reportedly being split into two massive films. Secret Wars is shaping up to be a giant 5-hour movie with a year intermission. That is crazy, but it makes sense. This is the culmination. This is honestly what's been reported or rumored the reboot of the MCU. And you have something like Avengers Secret Wars. It is ginormous. It is huge. And it's been reported as a legacy movie, really bringing all the Marvel heroes together. So I can understand why this movie would be so long and them wanting to split it up into two parts. Kind of like when they first announced Avengers Infinity War. Remember, it was Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and then Part 2. And then they switched it up to Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Realistically, it still was a Part 1 and a Part 2, right? Part 2, Endgame, just only took place 5 years later after Thanos' snap. But with Secret Wars, I am so excited. But what does that mean for Avengers, the Kang Dynasty? Like, is the Kang Dynasty Part 1 and Secret Wars Part 2? That could be a possibility. That could mean, whatever happens in Avengers, the Kang Dynasty with, Kang still being reported as, to have a pivotal role in that movie that could lead to a much bigger villain. And then going into Secret Wars with that actual main villain after he defeats Kang the Conqueror. Now, do you recast Jonathan Majors? Obviously, you're going to have to because he was recently fired from Marvel Studios. You're kind of in between a rock and a hard place. It is going to be incredibly difficult to recast Kang within the MCU. I know a lot of people are throwing out fan theories of like, what about John Boyega? He would be great. Yeah, Abdul-Mateen. He's already Wonder Man in the MCU. And John Boyega is like, nah, I'm good. I'm okay with that. But it's going to be interesting to see what ultimately happens with Avengers the Kang Dynasty, or them calling it Avengers 5, because as of right now, it is unknown if the Kang Dynasty is going to have that title in its film, because of the recent reports of what's happening with Jonathan Majors. Kang is going to be, ultimately, I think Kang is going to stick around, but they're going to wrap up his story in Kang Dynasty for a much bigger role, for a much scarier and bigger villain. But who could the villain be? This is going to be interesting. Look, we all know that Michael Waldron is going to be writing Kang Dynasty, or Avengers 5, and Avengers Secret Wars. And Sam Raimi is rumored to be directing both of those movies. I like the idea of both of them coming together. I like the idea of having one person underneath that belt, directing and writing, so there's not a whole Star Wars situation with J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson. I think it's a brilliant idea. But who is going to be the villain? Who is going to be the main antagonist? I know a lot of people want to see Beyonder. I know some people still want to see Kang. I know people want to see Galactus. But it's really looking like Dr. Doom, or, God Emperor Doom is going to be the next big bad, right? And I think the way you should introduce Doom, and although I know, even I said this, I was like, you can't rush Doom. It's a buildup. But with Doom, he is so powerful. And I just don't know where you would go after Kang. You already did your Thanos. Galactus is on a much smaller scale, no pun intended, when we're talking villain. And you want to save Galactus for the Fantastic Four, but you ultimately want to save Dr. Doom for the Fantastic Four as well. But with Doom, you have to make his presence so powerful. Just like how Thanos, when we first saw Thanos in Infinity War, when he was wrecking all the Asgardians, he was beating the crap out of Thor, and he killed Loki, and then he put the brakes on Hulk. That is the impression we need for Doctor Doom. As soon as we see him on screen, he should do something drastic, something absolutely crazy that will blow our minds. Like, kill Thanos. A multiverse version or a different variant of Thanos. He should kill Thanos just like in the comic books. Just like that. To put everybody on notice in the theaters. Like, oh, can you imagine that? At the end of Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, he kills Kang. And then he kills Thanos. Going into Secret Wars. And you're like, holy shit. That did not just happen. That would leave fans so excited. That would leave so many jaws dropping to the floor. I would absolutely lose my mind. That is something I want to see for the next big bad villain after Kang's replacement. It's going to happen. It has to happen eventually. But moving on, you guys, apparently we got some interesting X-Men reports coming and saying that multiple mutant-focused projects are in development at Marvel Studios, putting the spotlight squarely on mutants. The Avengers will play a smaller role, stepping aside as the mutants take the center stage in the unfolding saga. Look, after this multiverse saga is done, you move forward into the mutant saga. Deadpool 3 kicks off the mutant saga in a massive way. You have to do the mutant saga. That's ultimately where they should have started, in phase 5 instead of, having the multiverse saga. The mutant saga should have been the next phase, starting off with your X-Men. That would have been a banger. But ultimately, I am really excited to see the X-Men and mutants come into the MCU in a massive way. Like I said, there's been breadcrumbs and stuff. There's been cameo appearances. We just had Beast in the Marvels, which really, really was exciting. But I want to see much more. There is so much more happening. And with X-Men 97 coming out next year, they're really prepping our minds and prepping the MCU fans for the next big saga of that being the mutant saga. But ultimately, I'm like, well, if they plan to do solo projects for these mutants or for these X-Men, which characters deserve their own solo projects? And will they be on Disney Plus or will they be movies? I ultimately think you have so many great characters to choose from. I want to see Cyclops done justice. I want to see him become the leader that he is in the comic books and the animated series. I want to see a Rogue and Gambit series or film. That would be interesting to me. Or if you're tired of Captain Marvel, have Rogue take all of her powers. And then that's how Rogue gets her powers. That would be fascinating. That is such a great idea because as of right now and after the Marvels, I just don't see Captain Marvel and those girls bouncing back. Maybe Miss Marvel. That is about it. But it's a good, interesting idea to flirt with, honestly. Or, I want to see Cannonball. I want to see Colossus. Colossus in the Deadpool series has been phenomenal. Really good. Maybe Colossus and Magic. That would be a dope little team up. Or maybe a Sabretooth film. Absolutely. Or you can do something along the lines of an original Weapon X film. That would be interesting. Omega Red, Deadpool, Wolverine. But you're kind of already having your Wolverine and Deadpool buddy cop movie in Deadpool 3. But ultimately, I think you stay away from characters like Magneto and Professor X. Their stories have been told over the last 20 years. I think it's time to move on. But still have them have pivotal, important roles in the Mutant Saga and X-Men films. The Brotherhood. You know what I mean? The X-Family. They're important characters. You can't have one without the other. You just can't. You can't have a burrito without any carne asada, right? You just can't. You need the carne asada or whatever meat you prefer. Or if you're vegetarian or vegan, then, congratulations. But, it's really exciting. I can't wait for the whole X-Men and Mutant Saga to really unfold and unravel. And I hope they do it justice because, man, the Mutant Saga and X-Men, I feel like that's what fans are really, really wanting right now. And I don't blame them. Everybody loves the X-Men. Everybody loves the X-Men. But closing this video out, you guys, on the last two topics, as reported already, Marvel Studios is in early development on a Young Avengers film. Because at the end of the Marvels, you see Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, recruiting Kate Bishop. So much fun. I ultimately think that film will not do money. I'm sorry, but there's no appeal. There's no mass appeal for the Young Avengers. There's not. You have all of these characters who've been introduced in Disney Plus series that people haven't watched or seen. It's going to be hard to do that. I don't know. Maybe keep it a Disney Plus series. You know, I take a break, Marvel. Reassess, rethink that Young Avengers project, honestly. And also, Kevin Feige apparently wants one villain from the Spider-Man universe into the MCU. Now, it's unclear what villain that is, but I'm really curious. I'm like, well, could it be Venom? Could it be Morbius? Could it be Kraven the Hunter? It's going to be interesting. I mean, Kraven the Hunter looks phenomenal. I really enjoyed that first trailer, and I would love to see him go up against a Tom Holland Spider-Man. Venom, on the other hand, not so much. I think that the MCU can do a much better version of Venom. Tom Hardy's Venom just really didn't do it for me. It just doesn't do it for me. It doesn't. It's just no white symbol, you know what I mean? No web swinging, no connection to Spider-Man, no connection to Peter Parker. It's just, there's a lot of issues I have with Tom Hardy's Venom. But, you know, Morbius could be something along the lines of, you know, having, you know, something along the lines of, you know, the Midnight Suns, you know what I mean? With Blade and the much darker, toner characters, the monsters of the MCU, the monsters of the Marvel, you know, realm. That would be interesting. I would love to see Jared Leto come back as Morbius alongside Mahershala Ali as Blade, but actually put Jared Leto in makeup, you know what I mean? Not have the whole CGI, because when I found out that shit was CGI, I was so heartbroken, because I was like, come on, like, are y'all really that lazy? You can't do prosthetics for a vampire? It's been done and done well. Bram Stoker's Dracula, The Lost Boys, you name it. Stop being lazy, Hollywood. Get creative, be authentic, be original. That's my little rant on Morbius. But put your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about these interesting updates, reports, and rumors evolving around the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I hope you guys are all having a wonderful holiday. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day for watching Zero Productions. Peace.